your entire team is divided into peer, like two people working at the same time. So which means they are building solid bond. One of the things that will keep your employees in your company is having a solid friend. They follow up this later. What? But if you structure your business in a way that they are passionate about working for a company, they're passionate about contributing to your company, what happens is they will become the CEO of their business. If you want to double your business, if you want to scale your business to the next level, if you want to maximize your profit, understand that you need to have effective management system that will help your business to the next level. If you don't have an effective management system, then what happens is people are doing their stuff and then they're making mistakes, and some of them are doing good things and you don't appreciate them and they leave the company, and you have employee rotation and so many challenges. Today I'm going to talk about horizontal hierarchy management system. It's a new system of management that we are introducing that will help you to effectively manage your employees to their peak performance, to their high performance, so that your company can grow your profit and you can dramatically increase the cash flow in your bank account. So listen to the end of this video to understand the system completely so that you could implement it starting right away. Let's get started. Give it damn it. What is give it damn it? Give it damn it is like, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, we are the idea people. We have the best ideas. We come up with great imaginations. We have so much efficiency, so much passion for the business. And what happens? We are stuck with some task. There are so many tasks that are stuck with us. Maybe we are really good at marketing. Abraham Maslow said, if you're really good at using a hammer, you think everything is a nail. Again, if you're really good at using a hammer, you think everything is a nail. If you're really good at using marketing as a hammer, then you think everything is a marketing nail. If you're really good at using sales as a hammer, you think everything is a sales nail. If you're really good at operating business, then you think everything is operation. So we get blind spotted by our own experience. And most people say experience is the greatest teacher. Experience could be the greatest teacher if you know how to use her. Experience could be the worst teacher if you don't know how to use it too. Isn't that fascinating? The experience is limiting us. One more time. Once you're really good at using hammer, you think everything is a nail. Once you're really good at being a really good creator, then you don't know how to market. So what happens? We are blind spotted by that. So please, for your own sake, for your business sake, let go and give your task to other people. Be willing to delegate, because you're not that good. You cannot handle everything. You cannot run $1 billion company. You cannot run $1 million company and then have everything be done by you, right? It's not going to happen. So that's why we are moving to the next step, which is another new model of management, which is hunter-gatherer management. What's a hunter-gatherer management? What is hunter-gathering? Like long time ago, we didn't have grocery stores. We didn't have Walmart. We didn't have Lulu. We didn't have Lululemon. We didn't have stores where you could buy stuff, food, nothing. No, there was no stores, right? All of a sudden, what do? We actually go and hunt. And so one person is going and hunting. We have a sharp rock. We have a sharp rock, and with a sharp rock or a sharp spear or a small knife that is made of rock maybe, and we are going and hunting and like catching animals that we could eat. Probably salt was not invented, and then you have to eat this raw meat. Some people say it's healthy, but it was very difficult probably at the time. So the point is that one person is hunting, another person is gathering. Hunting, gathering, hunting, gathering. So it's a peer group action. It's a peer group action. So what does that mean? It means that one person is in charge of a task, another person is in charge of follow-up. So you're like, oh, that's just like this regular management. It's not. These are peer people. It's not one person reporting to another person, or this person is managing this person. These are peer people. So your entire team is divided into peer, like two people working at the same time. So which means they are building solid bond. One of the things that will keep your employees in your company is having a solid friend in the company. According to numerous statistics and numerous data, one of the things that keeps your employees staying in your company is having a solid friend that they could connect with in the company. That's the reason they don't leave, because they want to stay connected with that person. So having that person structurally designed so that you have a peer person. There's one person here, another person here. This person is doing a task, this person follow up. This person is doing a task and he has like bunny ears, this person. And this person is doing the task, this person is following it. So they have a self-management system. So a management system that is self-managing. So once you have a self-management system, it's beautiful. It can be scalable, right? So family is like that, right? So you have like one house. You don't like accidentally go into another house and say, oh, like you talk to your wife and like, hey, wifey, talk to your neighbor's wife and say, hey, wifey, what's up? What's going on? You don't do that because you know that there is a structural element to society which is built on a fundamental block or family, So that's how it works, right? So you have a family, somebody else has a family, somebody else has a family. The structure of family creates a small village, a structure of a village or a urban area creates a bigger city, and then a country, and then the world. The same way, the management structure of the company is this peer group. This is a basic element of a company. It's not one individual. It's a couple of people. Like it's a group of people, two people, right? So two people are the basic management structure of a company. And we didn't have that management system placed anywhere as far as I have seen. That's why I'm introducing this idea to you to effectively manage people. Once you have a hunter-gatherer, one person is hunting, other person is gathering. One person is hunting, another person is gathering. Then you have an automated system that is infinitely scalable, just like the village, just like the city, just like the country, just like the world. And will families have problems? Yeah, there will be problems, but we'll figure out a way to structure it. That's what management is for. So that's the second point. Third point is follow-up is failure. What? Follow-up is failure? How dare you say that, right? Yes, I also believed like that, right? I thought follow-up is the best thing ever. By the way, not having follow-up is ultimate failure, okay? So understand this. No follow-up is ultimate failure. Follow-up is still failure. So let me explain. Hold on, let me explain. So if you have to follow up for every step of the way for your employees, you are essentially enabling your employees. You're training your employees to depend on it. They never become independent. Imagine you're a coach, like a football coach. If your job is to coach football team, and then all of a sudden, every time they need to do something, if they have to look back at you, can I kick this? Is that okay, coach? Is that okay? Can I kick it? Then you lost the game. Make sense? The job of a parent, the job of a coach, job of a manager is to help the team so much that you reach a point where your job is obsolete. So what does that mean? So this is a beautiful phrase that I got actually from Michelle Obama's mom or grandma. She used to say that parenting is a job that should be managed to be obsolete, which means a job that needs to be automatically eliminated. Because as you parent, they learn how to do stuff. As you parent, they learn how to do this stuff enough that they don't need a parent to support anymore. Then they reach a period like you don't need parenting anymore. Parenting is a job that needs to be obsolete. Same way, management is a job that needs to be obsolete. And you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with my job as an entrepreneur, as a manager? You can be promoted if you're a manager. If you're an entrepreneur, you can be free. You could live a life, right? Because if the system is automated, the system is managed autonomically, then you could have the freedom to live. There is something called life, which is 80 to 100 years, and you can live that life beautifully, joyfully, enjoying if you have a system of them following up with you. And you're like, what does that mean? How could they follow with me? So if you give them a task, they are starting the task and letting you know, hey, I just started the task. And they are progressing the task and they're letting you know, I made this much progress. At the end of the task, they are letting you know it's done. And you're like, if it's a small thing, they don't need to do that. But if it's a multi-step project, then they will let you know. So instead of you following up, they follow with you and keep you updated. They keep you an update on, oh, this is what is progressing. So most of the time, most of the companies, the manager is behind, hey, what's the status of this? What happened? What versus the person is coming back to you. The gatherer is coming back to you and saying, oh, this is what the progress that is made. And then, or hunter or gatherer, one of them is getting back to you and communicating with you, letting you know that, hey, this is the progress that we made. The project is completed. Let me know if you have any questions. Now it's self-managed system. So now you would look at that, oh my gosh, this is awesome. You could scale this, right? And it sounds like, oh my gosh, this is the ideal world, but you have to figure out how to do this, right? And now, should we get rid of all the follow-ups? No. If they don't get it done on time, or you don't feel like things are not going on time, then you need to step up and follow up. By the time you follow up, we failed already. When I say failed, we didn't follow the most effective path because they haven't followed up with us. So this way, we could have the freedom to move forward. So let me go to the next point, which is radical ownership, which is a similar concept, but radical ownership is like where the person is saying that, you know what, I'm responsible. Like a CEO of a company, the person owns the job. The person owns the job. when a person is owning the job, Martin Luther King has this one of my favorite quotes is, if you're a sweeper, if your job is to be a sweeper in a street, sweep as if Michelangelo, I'm paraphrasing obviously, Michelangelo did his painting, or Shakespeare did his poetry, and Beethoven did his music. Because if you do, when the angels and gods, when they pass through the sky, all of a sudden they look down and they will say, here lived a man, a woman who did their job right. So if you are able to bring that passion into that job for that person, structure your company, arrange profit share. There are so many ways to do that. We'll talk about it in a different video. But if you structure your business in a way that they are passionate about working for a company, they're passionate about contributing to your company, what happens is they would become the CEO of their job. And if they become the CEO of their job, they would paint like Michelangelo. They'll paint like Michelangelo. They'll write music, right? Beethoven. They would write poetry like Shakespeare in their own best ways. And then your company can succeed to the next level. That's what I call as radical ownership. Give them ownership, because everybody want to be owners. Everybody want to be entrepreneurs, and give them a mini entrepreneurial experience with their job, so they could probably, if they want to start a company, they could start a company in the future. We are not stopping them. We are not on their way of their dream. We are helping them to become their best selves. So we give the best management tools to succeed. And that takes me to the next point, which is catch them doing right. Most of the time, this is something that I learned from Kenneth Blanchard, who wrote, I used to have a worker who used to come to my home called Blanchard. So I transferred his name into Kenneth Blanchard. Kenneth Blanchard used to say that catch them doing right. He wrote the book 1 Minute Manager. He has this phrase called catch them doing right. Most of the time, what are managers doing? They go around, fly around like a hawk, and go around like an eagle. It goes around and above, look for a mistake. All of a sudden it flies down. It's like, whoo! You find a mistake for the employee, right? That's what managers are typically doing, right? Versus 80% of the time, intentionally look for doing the right things, them doing the right thing. So the thing is, most generalized way, humans generally have lack of confidence. They don't have high self-image. Generally speaking, most humans don't have a lot of high self-image, generally speaking. And people who don't have high self-image, if you catch them doing wrong, their parents have been doing already that. Their wife, their husband is already doing that at home. So they don't need to be caught doing wrong most of the time. So you need to be catching them doing the right thing. When they finish something on time, when they finish something on quality, when they finish something with an initiative, show them that you're noticing that. That's a very sensitivity thing, in terms of management, you're constantly looking for something good to find in them, so that you could validate their higher self-image, right? And that leads me to the final point, which is correct them when they're wrong. If they're wrong, and if you're catching them doing only right, just like Kenneth Blanchard said, and if you're not correcting them when they're wrong, what is happening is they would be like, oh, I'm so good, I'm so amazing, especially on the eastern side of the world, because I have team members in different parts of the world, and I have worked with people from 25 different countries. From my experience, from the eastern side of the world, if you don't correct them, then sometimes they start to think that, oh, I'm so good, because they haven't given enough appreciation, especially in the non-European and the Western part of the world. You get a lot of appreciation and you get a lot of compliments and stuff like that. On the Western side, that they are used to the compliment. Eastern side, people are not used to the compliment. If you have a multinational company, on the Eastern side, the management must be different. The management style must be different than the Western side. Not to discriminate people, but to adapt to the culture of the society itself, right? So the Western management structure that you think it's going to work, it's not going to work on the Eastern side of the culture. So whatever Western management structure, and there's no Eastern management structure, that's why I'm coming up with this methodology called horizontal hierarchy that will work for everybody as long as you adjust it. So if you're on the Western side of the world, 80-90% of the time, catch them doing right. If you're on the Eastern side of the world, slightly adjust that number down to manage that expectation. But regardless, if they make a mistake, correct them in a very simple, soft, straight way, so that they know that they are a valuable member of the company as a person, but still the act of not doing something, act of not taking care of something, is not something that is acceptable at the same time. So you could do that with compassion, and courage at the same time. So you could use compassion when you're giving the feedback, and you could use courage and clarity in terms of if they are not taking responsibility, you need to go from the courageous place and tell them, hey, you will have to fix your stuff with a smile if possible, right? So that's how you structure horizontal hierarchy management. It's a different way to manage people. But the important thing is, I don't want you to misunderstand that follow-up is not important. Follow-up is really, really important and critical. But if you are following up, you are kind of enabling them to slack, to lay down and lean on you too much, so that they don't need to think about it. They're just machines who just follow up, and then they work based on follow-up. You want your management style to be something that is obsolete in the future. When your job is obsolete, you could be hired to the next level. Do you understand what I mean? If you cannot manage your team members, Jim Rohn has this fascinating saying that if you cannot manage your job at 7-Eleven, which is a small store which is a gas station or a petrol station in US, if you cannot be a good person, a really good employee for $10 an hour or $8 an hour, then how could I make you the CEO of Apple? Do you understand? So if you need to be doing real good job in terms of managing people and make your job obsolete by creating the management system to be so simple, so people are so efficient, you could be promoted to a director, then promoted to a VP, then promoted to be a C-level executive, right? So that's how you grow in your career. If you're a professional, but if you're a business owner, the way you do it is you grow from one level to $10 million, $100,000 to $1 million by making your job obsolete, because you create management systems. And from there, you grow to $10 million or $100 million or $1 billion based on where you want to grow, right? Based on what this hierarchy, horizontal hierarchy management. So pay attention to this, study this model. This model is going to be the common model for so many companies in the future. You have early access to this system, use it. That's how you will go ahead and scale your business, double your cash flow, and maximize your profit starting today. I look forward to seeing you next time.